So I don't believe that there is one politician that's going to save the game here or save us. I believe only us can save us.
Like a movement?
A movement.
I don't want to say the R word, but...
No, it's because we don't do that. We don't do the R word in Australia, right? And I made some content about that the other day.
Well, they took our guns off us, so we can't.
Well, they did, right? And that's a whole other story. But, like, what we've got here now is Australians, we hate voting. We don't like following politics. And when I gave up following sport, I just took up politics like a rabid dog. And so I've watched this game play out for years now. And that's where I've come to the conclusion that no politicians are going to save us. The political movement that we need to create in Australia will be an extension of the cultural movement. What we need to do now is get bums off seats, go to protests, and get actively involved in saying, this shit ain't right. Now, you don't have to be across all of the issues, and I know you've never been to a rally before, but on 31st August, I had a lot of people come up to me and go, I've never been to a rally before. This is my first one. Thank you for helping me get here, you know, because people are pissed and they're hurting.
They are.
They know it's not right, and they don't know what to do. So they're coming up to me going, who do we vote for? Who do we vote for? And I'm like, I'm not going to tell you who to vote for, but what I am going to say is just keep turning up. Just keep showing up, because what we've got to do is show up in enough numbers that people at the top have to take it seriously. Can't just dismiss it as some fringe element in ideology. And I think we did a pretty good show of that last Sunday.
Well, I hope there's going to be many more to come in terms of protesting. And a lot of people sit back. I've got mates like, what does protesting do? It speaks to the politicians. It says, we are going to hold you accountable. It may not seem like much at the time, but political parties, they do get shaken to the tree and at the foundation when the people do movements.
Yeah.
It happens. People get angry and they think to themselves, well, there's hundreds of thousands of them out there and there is hundreds of us in here. Like, the people are pissed off. Yeah. And to get Australians actually off their ass and turn up, it is a big thing, right? It is huge. So I would dare to say that, let's say, what 400,000 across the whole of Australia?
Oh, look, it was probably closer to 200, 250.
200,000. I would suggest that over 10 to 20 times that number actually wanted to go but didn't because they're Australians.
And they're scared.
Yeah, and they're scared.
Yep, absolutely. And not only that, but the media did its absolute best, and the containment right-wing gatekeepers did their best to stop people from going. You know, and so one of the reasons that I put my head up before the actual rally in Queensland in particular, because, you know, I've got a social media following and I am a legitimate businessman and I'm definitely not associated with the neos, was I wanted to give it some legitimacy and see if we could turn out some more people in Brisbane. And we had a fantastic event, you know, a couple of minor dumb things. Yeah, 100%, man.
Yeah, how'd that go?
Most powerful thing I've ever seen in my life. And
Loved
dude,
it?
I've watched a video back of it and I actually can't remember speaking because I was... And this is why, I mean, I'm surprised that you haven't been to a rally before, because the emotion of that moment, being caught up with all of those people, and it wasn't an adulation thing where your ego is being fed, but it felt like a spiritual connectivity with my people, with my country. And I mean, I've served and worn the uniform, and, you know, despite, you know, what I would call a pretty shitty military career, and, you know, those moments when you stood under the flag and you felt really proud, well, nothing could top what I felt last Sunday in front of all those people, man. Like,
probably shows unity, right?
Sorry?
Unity.
Well, yeah, it was a level of unity and connectivity that I'd never experienced as an Australian before. And I mean, I went to all the COVID marches. I'm an experienced campaigner when it comes to going to rallies. I love this shit, mate.
Yeah.
You know, so for me to actually lead it from the front, along with a great leadership team, this wasn't about me, a great leadership team that put together a safe and secure event, because we knew how to manage a crowd, and we got private security involved, some ex-military contractors up in Brisbane that were fully licensed, great company, and know that we managed to keep everyone safe. We met their expectations for how we were going to control it and organise it, and then speak, was a beautiful and amazing thing, man. And I can't wait to do it again and turn 3 or 4 times the people out.
Do you definitely think it's going to happen again with specifically immigration marches?
100%. Yeah, absolutely.
It needs to.
We are singularly focused, and I've spoken to the other leaders that are involved in these marches around Australia, singularly focused on this one issue. We believe that this is the government's Achilles heel. This is where we can hurt them the most, and this is where we can have the most impact. However, Sam, this is a hard thing to talk about because, as you know, you start stepping into immigration and migration, you have got some very powerful vested lobby groups and interests, as well as cultural interests, and you're always going to be tarred with the R word, right? And so then it's like,
that word's losing its value, though.
Yeah, and we know that, right?
It's
and all those
its punch.
people that turned up at the march, they got that as well. And the more that people try to push back and gatekeep this thing, the bigger it's going to get. I don't think they've realised what they've done here, mate, because I think this thing is just going to go from strength to strength. Now, I might be completely wrong. I'm a businessman, and I've made some shitty decisions over the years, right? And maybe I'm calling this out to be more than it will be, and maybe it'll fizzle away to nothing. But we knew that last Sunday, or on the 31st, that this was a signal. And if we could get the people off their butts and get them to turn up, then by God, we've got a fighting chance here, Sam, of saving our country from what's inbound for it right now. And I do believe that this is our last toss of the coin, mate.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be another one. I don't think there's going to be another movement, and if we do try to have another movement, there's going to be laws in place to shut it down straight away. Yeah,
they've already tried to move some legislation I saw in New South Wales there to label the movement, the far right, the March for Australia. Don't take me the wrong way there, as a far right terrorist organisation.
Yeah, they've tried to.
Was it Greens crazy? I think.
Yeah, so there's been a lot of talk now. This far right is a real dangerous word.
Yeah.
I came out in a reel the other day and I said, I'm no one's wing. I'm not considered right or left. I'm my own common sense wing.
It's them versus us, mate.
Yeah, and wherever they want to put me or wherever they want to label me, that's their doing. But I had to separate myself from calling myself or what I stand for a far right, because you don't know in a few months. That might be illegal. But dude, that might be illegal.
5 years ago, what they call far right was actually centre right.
It was a normal Australian bloke.
And so, when I got approached by the march organisers, who are a whole bunch of anonymous social media accounts, right? That's who the organisers were. And I was approached, and once again, it was one of those random moments where I had a message from an account I'd never had a message from before, and I don't read the messages because I don't have time, mate. I've got too much going on, right? I just happened to read this one. It was like, hey, there's this event happening, and I'd like to talk to you about being a part of it. And I'm like, well, it's from a bot, spam bot X, right? And that was one of the organisers in Queensland. And I don't know what possessed me to do it, but I went, okay, here's my number. Give me a call, right? And I shared the number, and I rarely ever do that. And he ended up ringing me, and I'm chatting to this guy. And it works out that we were really values aligned. Like, I understood what the organisation was. He explained to me why they didn't have all these major freedom influencers involved. There was a reason for that. And they asked me if I wanted to get involved, keep it secret until the last minute, and then, help them organise this. And it was purely because I've got a business acumen and some connections and stuff and know how to organise things. I mean, when you know how to run a building project, you pretty much know how to organise ducks in a row, right? So I went, okay, I'm happy to be involved in this. But I also wanted to make sure that there was a sensible voice in the middle that could say, this is sensible. This is sensible voice.
Let's not go too far this way or too far that way.
Because in my mind, this is about math. It's about math. You can only fit so many people in here with the amount of stuff that we've got where it doesn't work anymore. Yeah. Dude, I've been in your home now, right? I can see your house. If we put 100 people in here, you're in trouble. Yeah, you're in big trouble. This isn't going to function anymore. So, up in Queensland, for example, you can't drive anywhere without being stuck in traffic for hours. I mean, I don't know what Adelaide's like at the moment, but Sydney and Melbourne are an absolute basket case. We've got infrastructure that's crumbling.
The Adelaide City, I was having this discussion with a politician the other day. The city's becoming unrecognisable.
Yeah.
The Adelaide City is becoming unrecognisable.
In what way?
The colour of people's skin.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah, everyone's like, oh, you're a racist for saying that. No, I'm a realist.
Yeah.
I'm a realist to say that there are a bunch of people that are foreigners, and they're walking around.
Sam, diversity is our strength, mate.
No, it's not.
Yeah. Well, hang on a second, right? So one of the things that's happened in Australia here is that with the mass immigration of people and the migration numbers that we've been running over the last 20 years to keep our property Ponzi propped up in Australia, the property Ponzi scheme, so all of us keep making money on our houses. This one thing that's happened is that we've created this multicultural society, and we're told that we have to like it and enjoy it and that it's good for us and that it's our strength. When if you ask anyone by any metric, they'll tell you the world was better, Australia was better 15 years ago. Before we started letting in heaps and heaps of people, right, more than we could sustain. And so we ran a migration policy for a long time there that was about 100,000 people. But that didn't include the temporary visa holders. No. In Australia at the moment, we've got 2.7 million temporary visa holders. That's 10% of the people in Australia. As well. Student visas, holiday visas, temporary working visas, stuff like that, right? Now, some of that stuff is needed, and this is why the Nationals won't come out against mass immigration, because they know they need workers in the bush. Right? You need foreign workers to go to the bush and pick the fruit and work on the farms, right? There's always a labour shortage. I'm in the city, in a construction company, and I have a labour shortage. But the reason we have shortages is because there's so much demand on services is that we don't have enough people, and it's a revolving cycle.
There's so many people.
Exactly right. Now, I saw one of my good friends up in Brisbane on an ABC radio interview the other day. You won't mind me mentioning his name, David Goodwin, was talking about the fact that Australia has plummeting birth rates. So the argument was being made to him that we need migration to maintain our population levels because we're not having enough babies. We're not having enough babies because people can't afford it, Sam. How old are you?
35.
35, right?
Only just been
You've just had your first. I was 33, 34 when I had my first, so left it a long time. But that's because prior to that, I was not economically viable to be able to have a child, mate.
Yeah, I did a reel about this the other day, and I had a whole bunch of people reach out to me, and rightly so, making the exact point that you made. And I thought to myself, man, I should have added that in.
Yeah.
But we didn't because
they can't afford to get there.
Yeah, and no, people can't afford to have kids these days.